Hey meow, I'm Miki and today we are doing a chatty get ready with me. I'm going to be using the Amazing Cosmetics Anti-Aging Face Primer first. I've actually been wanting to do a chatty get ready with me for a very long time, but it's been so difficult because you guys can't tell, but I'm actually filming in my bedroom. Actually, maybe you can't tell. And my husband sleeps really late into the day a lot of the time. It's not all the time, but most of the time he sleeps really late into the day. And so I want to get my makeup done quickly because I only have times throughout the day when I can actually get it done. And usually the times that are best to get it done, like when my little boy is napping, is also when my husband is sleeping. So it's been really hard to do a chatty get ready with me, but I've been wanting to do one because I feel like you guys should know me better than you do. I'm using the Lorac eye primer. And so yeah. And I'm also going to be doing the small creator tag in this video as well because it takes me forever to do my makeup. Like a really long time. I see some people do like chatty get readies with me and it seems like it takes no time to do their makeup and it takes me a really long time to do my makeup. So, okay, now I'm going to do my brows. The thing I've been doing lately with my brows is I've been getting like a brow brush wet, like one of those angle brushes. And I've been dipping it to like this dark brown right here and just outlining my brows and then filling them in with like dry brown. So I guess I'll do the small creator tag first. I also wanted to update you guys. I don't know how many of you guys have seen, like one of my very first videos had like a thumping noise in it, and I addressed it at the time and I told you guys that there had always been like weird occurrences like that. So I want to tell you guys, I wanted to go more in depth about those kind of happenings and tell you what guys, what's been happening lately. But first I'm going to do the small creator tag. And the first question is, how many years have you been on YouTube? I have been on YouTube I've only been on here for 4 months so far. I started like August 26th, I think, was the first time I uploaded. And then it says, what was your first video about? I think my first video was about things that I had bought because of YouTube influencers that I actually like. This is all a mess with my eyebrows. Are you seeing these? Ah. Okay, I'm just gonna go back with concealer. Who is your dream collab? Everybody knows this. Everybody that watches my channel knows who my dream collab is, and that's LS, and it'll probably never happen. She doesn't know I exist. Like, I comment on her videos, and she comments back, but she doesn't know me. I mean, she's got 30,000 subscribers or something like that. It's a big number. So she doesn't know I exist, but it's fine. That would be my dream collab. What would it mean to you to make it on YouTube? I feel like I don't really have a goal in mind. I basically just started doing YouTube because, I don't know, I was lonely. I'm like a stay-at-home mom and I love makeup. And most of the people in my everyday aren't really that as interested in makeup as I am. You just don't come across people like that. And I guess that's why I like LS too, is because she has the same issue. And she started her channel for the same reasons. Can totally relate to like loving makeup and wanting to talk about it and then not really knowing anybody around you. I live in like a really tiny itty bitty town that I didn't grow up in, and everybody like knows each other and I don't know anybody, and the culture is just different from what I grew up in, so it makes it difficult to like make friends because no one's, you know, cares about the same things that I do, I guess. It's funny because one of the things I really like is makeup, but the other thing I really like is science. A lot of people have this disconnect, like, you like makeup, but then you like science a lot. So it's weird. But yeah, I don't really have an end goal. Sorry, that was such a long answer. What is the hardest part about YouTube? I wouldn't say any of it's hard because it is, I don't take it very seriously. It's just a hobby. But if I did have to pick a hard part, it would be finding times to film because my husband sleeps and I have kids and I have a life. So finding times to film is probably the hardest part, and I'm actually filming a lot all in a row right now because the winter break is coming up and you know, I don't want to film a lot over winter break with my kids here because I need to be doing stuff with my kids. They're going to be wanting to do stuff with me. I'm going to combine the Sephora and this like Super BB Insta Ready stuff. I didn't like this. I don't like both of these. I think because they're so mattifying, you can see like the texture in my skin, and I don't really like it, but I am trying to get rid of it, which is what I'm using today. What is the best part about YouTube? The best part is just like, I don't know, I get excited talking to other people. I get excited when someone contacts me and asks me a question about something I talked about in my video. I guess it's just like that feeling of communicating with other people that care about the same thing that you do. I feel like that's the best part about doing YouTube. Number 8 is, what's the funniest comment you've ever gotten? Funniest? Yeah. I don't know if I've ever, I wish he would stop. Someone's texting me and he needs to stop. I don't know if I've ever felt like, I don't think I've ever laughed at a comment. And what's the meanest comment you've ever gotten? I don't feel like I've ever gotten like a mean comment. The only thing that I would think was even close to the meanest comment would be someone, and I don't think they meant this in a spiteful way at all. I don't know. I don't even know if I should say it, because it wasn't really mean. Just someone was commenting like on the Sailor Moon palette and saying she bet it was bootleg and stuff like that. But I don't think it's mean because I didn't make the palette and I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I guess that wasn't mean, but no one's ever said anything mean, I guess, either. I just get like normal comments. 10 is, what other subject matter could you create a YouTube channel about? I could, or be interested in creating like probably a science channel. I think science is really interesting. I actually don't watch makeup videos that much. I mostly, when I get on YouTube to watch videos, I mostly watch science videos or I watch horror videos. Like, I'm kind of morbid a little bit. I like paranormal stuff, and I also like horror stuff. Like, recently I've been obsessed with watching all the interviews and all the coverage of Chris and Shan'ann. I guess because I can't really figure out why Chris seems so normal and why he would do that to his kids. Like, I don't understand. I almost want to mail him and be like, why? Just let us know why. Like, what were you thinking? It's really hard for me to wrap my head around, I guess. I guess I would do like a paranormal or creepy stories or maybe a science channel, but something like that would be really fun, I think. 11, why did you start your YouTube channel? I think I already talked about this, but I started it because I was lonely and bored and wanted something else in my life. Something to have goals for, something other than just wake up, feed my kids. 12 is, what video are you embarrassed by? I'm not really embarrassed by any of my videos. Embarrassed. I feel like there was one video I was thinking about not uploading, but then I did upload anyway, or did I not upload it? And I can't even remember what video that was anymore. I don't know. I guess I'm not really embarrassed by any of them. 13, what video are you most proud of? I don't know. I don't have these kind of, I don't think this way. I don't like put all my videos into some kind of hierarchy, and I don't know. I don't think like this. I'm not embarrassed or most proud of any video, I guess. Sorry. I don't think like that. Number 14, what is your first YouTube memory? My first YouTube memory is probably back in 2011, and it was watching YouTube videos for primarily just music. I watched it for like Tool or Coheed and Cambria. I don't remember the first ever thing that I watched on YouTube, but I know it was definitely music. Okay, so that is all for the creator tag. I am going to be tagging people, but I'm going to do it in the description box. So yeah, if you are subscribed to me and you're a creator and you haven't done this, I'm probably going to tag you. So just look there. Spooks tagged me in this, and I will also be linking her stuff in the description. She tagged all the creators that watch her channel, and I was like, oh, I can do that. that'll be interesting and fun. I actually want a giveaway from Spooks Center Stories. It's so cool. Okay, now I'm gonna set my whole face with this Besame powder. I love how I just like shake things, like hope you can see it. I noticed that when I edit, I'm like, stop doing that. Stop shaking everything. Okay, so now that we're done with the tag, I wanted to get into like the paranormal stuff. I don't know if it's paranormal. I don't know what it is. My husband and, you know, other people are like, well, there's got to be some explanation. And I don't know what the explanation is. I realize, you know, as a human, our perception is very limited because all we can perceive is what our brain is able to perceive, which is probably very limited. And I understand that. So I don't know what this stuff is, but I'm just going to tell you what I experience, and you guys can think what you want to think. And I know a lot of people aren't going to believe me anyway, because no one really believes me. I don't think they do until they're actually like living with me or over at my house and stuff happens. And then they're like, oh crap, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. Basically, ever since I've been like a kid, I've been experiencing like weird things. When I was like 12, I got my own room, and right next to my room was a dining room, and it was basically like this antique dining room where we really didn't go unless we were eating like Thanksgiving or something fancy, you know. And it had my stepmother's, all her antique knickknacks. So my room was off of that room. Almost every night I would hear what sounded like a whole bunch of papers on a table and someone just taking their hands and just rubbing them everywhere. I would hear that almost every single night, and I was too scared to get up and see, like, what is this? You know, I just waited till it ended if I had to go to the bathroom or something. I was terrified, you know. It was scary. Never found out what it is. And we didn't have like a dog or a cat in our house. And we also didn't actually have papers. I'm going to go into like a combination of like clay and terracotta right there. We also didn't actually have papers in that room, like on that table. That wasn't somewhere where we regularly like put school papers or anything like that. So this would happen regularly, and it scared me, and I never really said anything about it. I don't know. I just kind of accepted it. And looking back now, I also realized a lot of the times when, not a lot of times, a few times when I like walked into our living room, which at some point in my childhood was the only place we actually had a TV in our house, the TV would like turn on by itself. And at the time, I was just thinking that maybe I had some kind of electrical current that could turn a television on. It was a television, it was such an old-fashioned television. It didn't even have a remote, but it would turn on by itself sometimes when I walked in the room. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought it was weird, but unlike most people where I'm like, assume there's some kind of explanation. But the problem is that these occurrences have happened more often, and they're just weird. It's like things that don't happen to other people. As I've grown up, I didn't notice a lot of things throughout my early 20s. A lot of things have happened since I've been with my current husband. Okay, so things that we've had happen is we've had different TVs like turn themselves on and turn themselves off. Different TVs at different times. And like one night we were sleeping and the TV kept on turning on. And we'd wake up and turn it off with the remote, and then it turned on, and we'd turn off, and turn on, turn off, you know. And then finally, I was like, you know, I'm like so sick of the TV turning on and off that I basically left it on. And I was like, you know, if it wants to be on, we're going to leave it on. And then it turned itself off by itself. And then on again, and then off. And there was just like no stopping the TV from turning on and off. We didn't know what to do. And my husband's TV in his office was also doing the same thing during the day. And then we've had like a lot of lights like flickering, like you'd stand under them and they'd start flickering. And then that would happen for a while. Like my husband thought it was like faulty light bulb or something. He changed the light bulb and it'd still flicker. And then like the next week, that light bulb would stop flickering and a new light bulb would start flickering somewhere else in the house. This is all things that happened in our old house before this house. And one night I was feeding Anderson when he was a baby. Well, he still is, but you know, when he was much younger, his diaper genie, which has resistance. Like when you close a diaper genie, like you have to push down. It won't naturally like fall down on its own. One night I was rocking him in his rocking chair in his room, and that just slammed shut. The cat was in there with me and jumped 3 feet in the air because he was terrified. And just stared at that spot. Just stared at it. Just couldn't understand. The cat couldn't. And I wasn't that alarmed because I'd been used to things kind of weird going on, you know, for a little while. And I'm not really scared of these occurrences. They just kind of are what they are. Nothing harmful has ever happened. So that's happened. And also, one time I went in our guest room where no one hardly ever went. Like, it was off of our laundry room, so I went down there to do laundry, but like the kids didn't play in there or anything like that. It was off of our basement in our old house. So I went in there one time, and the bed in there was moved over a foot to the right. And my husband has like OCD. He doesn't really like things out of place, you know. It bothers him really bad. So I was like, that's weird that he decided to put the bed way over there. I didn't really understand, but I was just kind of like, whatever, you know, it doesn't bother me. He can put it wherever he wants. And so I went upstairs and I was just like, why'd you move the bed like way over to the side like that? It looked very off, you know. And then my husband was just kind of like, what do you mean? And I was like, the guest room bed, like, it's moved over, like way over, so far to the dresser that you couldn't open the dresser drawers. And he went down and looked, and he was pretty creeped out, and he's like, I did not do that. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. The next time we went in the guest room after that, all the lamps, overhead lamps for reading in that room, they were like skewed all to the side, which was weird because like that's not a room we utilize. And that wasn't even long after my husband went there and fixed the bed. And we noticed that. I don't know if it was him or I that noticed that first. But one of us noticed that first. And my husband was like, those lamps were definitely not like that. Because again, he has OCD. And he said I would have noticed that if they were like that. And kids hadn't been in there in that span of time. I mean, it was shortly after the bed had been moved back. A lot of occurrences like that happened. We would buy new sheets. My husband would buy new sheets. And he's actually buying a new sheet set. And I told him don't. But he would buy new sheets. And I would wash the old sheets. And then I would put the sheets up where sheets went. And then we would, you know, over a couple weeks or whatever, we would wash the new sheets. And my husband would be like, where are the old sheets? You know, so we can put them on the bed while the new sheets are in the washer. We couldn't find them again and again. Like this happened. Like my husband would buy new sheets. I'd put the old sheets in the washer, put them away wherever. And then when we went to change them out, the old sheets were missing. This happened after, I don't know, like 4 to 6 sheet sets. It was kind of like a running joke, like don't buy new sheets. We're just going to wash the sheets that we have, put them back on the bed the same day and not worry about it. Because apparently, like, I don't know, it was weird. It was really weird. We couldn't find them. And then not long before we moved to the house we're living in now, all of the sheet sets that had been lost were on the floor in a neatly folded pile. 4 to 6 sheet sets. They were all there. All together. We can't explain it. We don't know. And that just, it sounds and it feels weird to even admit it. Like, we don't know. We don't know anything. But that's what's going on. I'm going to go into this shade now, this gold shade, from this Immersed palette. I don't know if I have the review up yet or not, but it will be up either before this or after. If it's already up, I'll definitely like link in the iCards and in the description. So there was a lamp in the old house in our living room that would turn itself on and off, like while you were sitting there on the couch. That only happened a few times. And there were a couple lamps in that living room. This other lamp in the same living room went through this phase, like right before we moved, where you had to ask out loud to let you turn on the lamp or turn it off, whatever you wanted. Like you would click the thing to turn it on and off. You would click it to turn it off, and it wouldn't turn off. And you'd be like, and it wouldn't turn off. And then one day I got the brilliant idea to like ask out loud, like, hey, can I turn the lamp off, please? Like, that's what I said out loud. And I clicked it and turned it off. And there was like a long time, like a month-long period, where this lamp only worked if you asked out loud if you could turn it on or off. It's funny because I showed it Echo because Echo couldn't figure it out. And I said, you have to ask out loud. And she's like, what? I was like, you have to ask out loud. Like, just ask out loud to turn it off. And she did. And it worked. And then my husband one night was fiddling with it and he couldn't get it to work. And I was like, did you ask it? And he's like, what? I was like, did you ask to turn it on? I said, you have to ask now to turn it on. And he did. He asked out loud. I kid you not. And it worked. It worked every time. If it was some kind of fluke, like some kind of miswiring or something, it was really coincidental. Like 100% of the time, it worked if you asked it. I guess we do use that lamp still. And here in the new house, like we haven't had that issue with it. Oh yeah, and my daughter had also complained at the old house that she was hearing footsteps. And I could tell she was telling the truth because she would start like tearing up every time she talked about it because it scared her. She was scared. I told her, you know, it's fine. Whatever these occurrences are, nothing malicious has ever happened, so I don't really worry about it, you know. I've been dealing with it for a long time, and nothing malicious has ever happened, so it's fine with me. And I don't think it's something we should be scared of. I'm going to go into this really light gold shade right here since we've lived here. We haven't had that much going on. Yesterday, my husband was watching TV and the lamp, a different lamp, mind you. These are all happening on different things, different TVs, different lamps, different everything. It turned off. And it's a fairly new lamp. My husband has walked around the kitchen and done something and then gone and sat down. And then I walked into the kitchen like right after he did. And there's been like a tomato in the middle of the floor of the kitchen. He's like, I just walked there and that tomato was not there. And also, like, my sister stayed for Thanksgiving, and I kind of told her when we were driving to our house, I picked her up at the airport, and I was telling her about the weird stuff. So I was just like, I'm just telling you, you know, it's just interesting. And I said, it's not bad, whatever. And one night we were talking, and it was 3:26, I know, because my sister grabbed her cell phone because she was so scared. She was thinking about calling the cops, and we're talking at 3:26 a.m., and we hear a weird, strange whining noise outside. It was almost like that. So like maybe a dog, but it sounded really weird. And at the same moment, we heard someone run down the hallway right outside of the room we were in, which is my daughter's Echo's room. Whenever guests come over, that's the room we use, like, for the guest room. It really scared my sister, and she's like, Miki, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. And I started heading towards the door to, like, open it, and my sister freaked out. She was like, what are you doing? You gotta go to the door. And I was like, Jamie, I have children. I've got to go check on them. And she, like, got out her phone, and she, like, had it ready to call 911. And she was like, okay, you can go now. I went out there. There was no one in the hallway. Discernible to me. I couldn't see anybody in the hallway. And then I went in my son's room. He's sleeping. He's a baby, you know. I went in where the girls were sleeping in their room. They were dead asleep. And then I went to see Rusty, and he was asleep. And both of the animals were in there asleep, the cat and the dog. But I knew it was a cat or dog footsteps. This was definitely something that was bipedal. So I don't know what it was. But something ran through my hallway. And it really scared my sister. She says, I'm never staying here at your house ever again. I was like, dude, it's okay. Whatever it is, it's fine, you know. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore, you know. And then I was like, well, we can ask it, you know, to stop. She's like, don't talk to it. And she was like, you don't know what this is. It really did get me thinking, you know, that I just kind of accepted because nothing bad has ever happened, that it's been something good. It did get me thinking, you know, I don't know what these occurrences are. And if it is something like supernatural, I wish I could contact like a medium or something that I knew was not a fraud. because I don't really trust people to be telling me the truth in cases like this. I just wish I knew like a real medium that could come and say, you know, like they actually could feel somebody or not, or all of these occurrences could have like, some normal explanation. And sometimes things have happened and we found out, oh, this is why. It was something normal. It wasn't something we couldn't explain. But then tons of things have happened where we just couldn't explain them. We've also had like flickering lights here too. Like one time I was in the kitchen and my husband was right outside of the kitchen. We have an open floor plan, so our living room is like connected to the kitchen without a wall. And my husband was like right outside and the lights started flickering in the kitchen. I was like, oh man, the lights are flickering. And he comes inside and like looks at the lights. And then all of a sudden the lights going down into the basement, like further away from us, but we could still view them start flickering. So like these lights in the kitchen start flickering first, and then it's almost like something's walking through and you see the lights in the basement steps start flickering. And then Echo was down in the basement. She's like, did you guys see the lights flickering? And Rusty was like, are you guys messing with me? We did not plan it, but we could have planned that out, but we didn't. And I almost think like if it is somebody, like they're kind of part of our family a little bit. So that's the update, I guess, I have for the supernatural, paranormal, just weird stuff going on in my life. I'm going to put on some blush. I'm going to put on this blush because this is the blush that I'm panning. Today we've got people at our house putting together a play place for the kids. I'm actually really excited about it too. Like I want to play on the play place. Isn't that bizarre? I also want you guys help because I have so many liquid eyeliners, but they're all shiny and I do not want any more shiny liquid eyeliners. I want a matte one. I want one that's like smudge proof. And I was wondering, like, what do you guys recommend for that? I saw somebody, one of my videos, recommend like the NYX liner. And so I've heard that's a good one. I kind of want to try that one. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's like the best matte winged liner? I used to have a Stila one that I really liked, but it dried out. It's gone now. And I do want to get rid of what's in my inventory already. You see that line? Just messed it all up. I promise I'm better at applying wing liner than this actually shows. It's just because I'm talking to you guys. Okay, I'm going to clean that up though. Okay, so I've cleaned this stuff up. I'm going to go back in here with some of this like darker brown and kind of blend this in a little bit. Are any of you guys obsessed with this Chris Watts stuff? I saw where he declined an interview with 2020 and I so badly want him to answer their questions because I think we're all wondering, why did you do that? Was it really all so you could like be with someone else? That's crazy. And like the time span is crazy too because literally he only knew this girl for what, 6 weeks, and he decided to throw his family away. It's weird as a parent thinking that someone seemingly normal would make such a crazy decision. Like I really want him to tell everyone like exactly what happened, what he was thinking. Like that's what we all want to know, you know? I just think none of us really understand. I hope my eyebrows look good. Sometimes when I film, I look at it later and I'm like, wow, they did not look good on film. They looked fine in real life, but on film. I think I'm gonna bronze up my face. Okay, I'm gonna use this bronzer. I think this is by Pure Cosmetics. I don't know. It's just a big shiny bronzer that's kind of flaky. Well, I hope this was informative, and I hope you guys got to know me better. I know I didn't look at the camera that much because I was doing my makeup at the same time. I kind of feel like that's the nature of Chatty Get Readys with me. And if you guys like Chatty Get Readys with me, hit like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Alright, it still looks a hot mess. Okay, got a dog hair. Alright, bye. Oh, I forgot to contour my nose. Gotta contour my nose.